where it should be, because for some reason, Internet decided that it wanted to be 2 instead of what it normally is, and 2 is not enough, and it just died. We take the sacrifice of this modem. So I need to reopen the video real quickly. Because I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Video open. Where are we? This is about where we were. Okay. We're back. It works. I don't know what happened. Internet took a dump. Internet took a big old dump and decided that it didn't want to be enough upload to stream anything. So it's like, nope, no like. Unfortunately, Game Boy, you missed the last beta. So the last beta was last weekend, and that was the last one. There's only 2 more weeks till launch, so that's coming. And let's face it, Head Start is launch, because who doesn't order for Head Start if they already want it? Need to buy for High Burst Nightblade. Let's see here. You want Haste Mark Target Assassin's Blade, and then yeah, Haste Mark Target Assassin's Blade, and then probably Blood Craze and something else. Yeah. As someone who's been, had access to beta tests for, since last March, I can't believe it's 12 days either. It's 12 days. Boggles my mind. It's finally here. It's finally here. Oh, poor consoles. Useless paperweight. I wouldn't sell it yet, because there'll probably be good games for it eventually. Like, Xbox One eventually got Titanfall. I would at least not sell your PS4, because you already spent the $400 on the thing. Letters? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, the infamous Second Son does come out. Don't be laggy. Don't be lagging. Only 60 frames dropped. Okay, we're good. Typical MMO launches. Bugs forever! Yeah, that happens. What's the difference between skills that raise weapon power and weapon damage? Nothing. Weapon power and weapon damage are the same, it's just they need to do a pass on the tooltips to make everything up to date. Altmer versus Breton for Templar. Okay. So, Templar only has one spell that does fire damage. So the Destructive Talent isn't actually that good for just Templar class skills. And that one spell is Sunfire. Everything else is just magic. So because you can soft cap your magic recovery, I feel that Breton is the better choice because spell cost reduction isn't soft capped. Psycho Kid, Sunfire is a fire damage spell, but that is the only fire damage spell that a Templar has. That is affected by the flame talent of the Dark Elf. What do you think about the missing, about the escape options of a DK in PvP? Are there some options? So, your options are never to get into a bad position, which is really hard. But you can do it with some builds. Or, Vampire. With Vampire, you can get, the misty shit. What the hell is it called? World, Vampire. Mist Form, which makes you invisible. Not Mist Form. Yeah, Mist Form. Makes you invisible. Elusive Mist. Grants you invisibility. Yeah, no, spell cost. That's what I thought. Spell cost reduction shouldn't cap. Because. Yeah. Because flat cost reduction is a thing, you can't really cap it. Yeah. What is the cap for magic regen? The soft cap starts at 80, and apparently it caps at 109. Pro tip for DKs, get misty shit. It's really hard to elaborate on positioning is everything because I'm still learning good positioning. I haven't been much of a PvP player in the past, like, several years, so I'm still learning good positioning. How much stamina regen do I need to get if I'm using 7 medium? It depends entirely on your build. You might not need any additional stamina regen because medium armor gives you extra, or you might need a lot. Grumpy Cat in Doge form. Alright. How about on actively searching for sky shards? Do you have any idea how many the average player will get without searching with a map? By map, I'm assuming you mean something like the Tamriel Foundry interactive map. It's like an outside source. I have found every sky shard of a zone that I've been in. So that's something like calculator. Go back to my calculator. I'm open on that window. Thank you. 107 times 3 minus 32. I found like 280 sky shards. Something like that. Zero, you're having no luck. No luck. DK bow two-handed pure DPS build. Can you solo with this build? You can solo with that kind of build. You can't get at higher end content. You can't get away with pure DPS. You will die, guaranteed. You will need some survivability skills. Do I think there'll be another change to Templars restoring spirit for launch? For launch, no. Close to launch, like first patch, probably. I feel that it was interesting before and got nerfed to be really boring. And I think they actually may have over-nerfed it. Maybe a little. At the very least, I would like to see it be turned into something active. Versus just like a passive effect that it is now. Does every fire dot for as a DK count as a burning for the passive? No. Burning is a status that is applied by any fire damage, which can be applied from any fire dot. So you can refresh the shit out of it. Is the game gonna be worth the money? Yes, absolutely. Are the graphics good? Well, I have... Well, I guess you're on stream quality, but yes. I believe this was recorded on Ultra? So. Both to make it like it was, but with a smaller percentage. I would say maybe not exactly like it was. Because the issue with it, I think it should be spells and not skills. Because the issue that I think that I found that I saw with it was you could just like get free magicka back by using stamina skills, which I think was interesting, but also maybe a little bit unbalanced. Reaper's Mark. Reaper's Mark, what do you do? Not entirely sure what Reaper's Dark Mark does offhand. Reduces target, healing your mark target restores. Okay. The problem I have with the self-healing from Reaper's Mark is you have to actually kill someone first. It's good probably for soloing it in both PvE and PvP, but that is the main issue, is that you actually have to kill someone to get the heal. Is Khajiit two-handed slash bow with heavy armor a valid setup? Valid, yes. Optimal, no. It's looking like Khajiit, the Khajiit racial doesn't affect a bow. And it and heavy armor is just not that good for DPS in general, because you only get like 3 weapon power, or 3%, compared to the amount of crit that you get with the medium armor. Will the Ulmer passive Elemental Mastery apply to Destro Staff? Yes, Elemental Mastery applies to Destro Staff, because it is fire effects, whereas the Dunmer Flame Talent is fire spell power, and spell power only affects class skills and basically not weapon skills. It's the fact that it's a weapon skill overrides the fact that it's yeah. So it'll work on yeah, that's right, yeah. Stop talking. Did we play on X of Belharza? We actually didn't. I don't think most of us made it on to the live beta server last time. Solo shields based on damage done. Okay, I see what you're saying now. So you lower their resistance with marked target, and then you get a larger Swallow Soul heal. That should work. Well, I guess I have mostly good news for you then, Zanag, is that you can just get someone to craft you Khajiit style armor, and you can pick whichever race you want. You don't have to be a Khajiit for that. You can just get someone to make some for you. So as long as you stick with Destro Staff for Templar, will it be good? Okay to go Elmer? Yes, yes it will. If that's what you're looking for, is an excuse to go Elmer, then yeah, Destro Staff. How helpful would Elemental Resistance be in PvP with combination with Spell Resistance? So, I still haven't asked around the PTS for the people that have tested specific elemental resistance. So I don't entirely know. Ooh. Requieres? The answer to that is Ancient Elf. The style is Ancient Elf, which is one of the advanced styles, which is only of the motif book is only available in veteran zones. So you won't have... As far as I know, they're only available in veteran zones, so you won't see it for a while. But the style you want is Ancient Elf. Yeah, you can't really compare this game or Skyrim because it's built to also be an MMO. So there's been sacrifices made for both to make what I feel is mostly a better game. Retreat, Nightblade, 7 medium, ambush, steel tornado, killer's blade, focus attack, trooper's mark, and werewolf farm. Sound good? Yes, actually, because that is also a stamina-based build, you will have lots of stamina to use with werewolf form, and werewolf form actually does good damage if you're focused on it. So yeah, that should actually be pretty good. As a second weapon, I don't know what I'd recommend as a second weapon. Good race for Netblades other than Khajiit, and Sorcerer other than Altmer. It depends, yeah, it kind of depends on your build. Other races for Sorcerer other than Altmer, that's fairly easy, Breton or Dunmer, because they both give you Max of Magicka. And as a Sorcerer, pretty much every single Sorcerer build uses Crystal Fragments, except for healing. Which still, yeah. This is recorded from the PTS. Does that count? Yeah. How do you get all the racial motifs? Yep, you basically need to be lucky. They kind of come out of things. So, Werewolf does not scale at all with your weapon damage. It only scales off of your maximum stamina. So if you're like a stam-based build, you get like 2,000, 2,200 stam, and you destroy things because the werewolf bonuses give you more stam while you're in it. No, you won't get any of the other bonuses. Is that Zeo? Yeah. Zeo Shade. You won't get any of the other bonuses, just Blood Rage. Do I have a link to the build that I'm playing right now? I actually don't, because I haven't... I should make that a command for that timer thing, but yeah. I don't have any first-person footage, so I can't. Because this is recorded. Yeah. So many two-handed slash bow. Most two-handed slash bow builds, I would recommend a stamina race, so Imperial or Redguard. Those would be my two recommendations on that. Yeah, you're having no luck today, Zero. It's okay, I think you missed... You were timed out for the entire time that the stream died. Where are we? What are we doing? Pretty much. First person is great when you're not in combat. They are increasing. They do plan to increase the FOV though, which will definitely help with that. But it's still not good. What class do you recommend for two-handed slash bow? Sorcerer or Nightblade? What is your favorite ability out of everything? That's a really hard one. I would have to say the most fun to use is what I'll deal with as my favorite, and that is Dragon Leap. It's not. It doesn't actually end up being that good in practice, but it is fun. I have played the whole PTS as a Khajiit Knight blade. I'm still going, or Khajiit Dragon Knight. I'm still going Dragon Knight at release, but my race choice will be different because we made the characters before we had access to the any race, any faction. Rate the build on a scale of -5 to 0. Alright. And pick a race. Race. Race, I would go with... race is a tough one for that. Stam, magical supports. I would probably recommend a stamina race, so... Redguard or Imperial. Because those are the two good stam races. Orc is a bit... Orc kind of falls short. In terms of how good the build is, it's it's okay. I'd rate it about average, maybe a little bit. It's about yeah. In terms of how good it is, I'd give it average. When you leap from up high, do you take falling damage? Yes, I want to say yes. Jailotopia, the Imperial horse is a small. It's not a big advantage. It's a small advantage because that horse is not the best horse you can get. You will want to buy a one of the 43k horses because it will have more stats on it. In the current PTS build, we do also have the single sword weapon table, and people are complaining about it. What professions have I leveled, and what will I be going at release? I'll be going wood cutting at release, and in terms of what I have leveled, I think I've done all three of the crafting, so clothier, wood cutting, and blacksmith. Have I tried Shooting Star Ultimate? I personally haven't gotten Shooting Star yet, but I know someone that has, and yes, you can chain cast it if you hit enough targets. What can you buy on the cash shop on the game sale? You can buy the Imperial Edition, if you didn't already have that. And you can also buy a really super basic horse. Like the basic of basic horses. Basically a different colored version of the Imperial horse, which is available anyways in-game for 17,000 gold. Can you group with 8 or more player? Can you have a group with 8 more players stick together? Yes, you can. Group size goes up to 24. In terms of actually sticking together, that is up to how coordinated you are. Currently, Flame Talent does not scale, so it is always 4, which is 5% of the base spell power. I think it needs a buff because there's very, very little that affects. So if you're going to make a PvP build, would you still go Breton over Khajiit? Yes, because my PvP builds tend to be Magicka focused, so I want that extra damage from the base Magicka. People in PvP are typically going to be using the Impenetrable trait, which reduces the chance to be crit, so I don't find the extra crit damage to be all that useful. Will the High Elf Racial Elemental Talent affect Fire, Staff, Light / Heavy attacks? It should. Actually, I remember when we were doing that test, yes, it will. Do I know much about enchanting? At early levels, it seems underpowered is a great trade to have at high levels. Yes, it is absolutely a great trade to have at high levels. Is PvE phasing when in a group improved on the PTS? No. I'm gonna go with no, because you guys were using, you guys were on the same build as we are, so. And there hasn't been a patch yet. What is the skill on the second bar? On the destruction staff bar? So I think what is on the destruction staff bar? I don't remember, because I haven't used this build in a while. But I don't remember what it is. Did you ever figure out if the damage bonus will scale up on the level of Solar Flare? I don't think it does. What is it listed? Do you remember what it was showing for you before? Where it looks like a Fire Nova. Oh, that is Impulse. That's an easy one. That is Impulse, morphed to Pulsar. Through to a high layer, So I would go Ambush into Power Attack into, well, no, Mark Target into Ambush into Power Attack into probably Blood Craze at that point. And then I don't know where I could go from there because my ambush will have worn off. If I'm running a second stun, I would try and stun them again. If at all possible. I've determined how much Impenetrable affects crit. Yes, so Impenetrable, it says 70 rating. 70 rating reduces your chance to be crit by 7%. Basically, you cut, anytime it says it refers to rating, cut a 0 off at the end. And you'll have how much percent it is. Is it going to be possible to have people enchant your gear even if it's already binded? So the enchants themselves do not bind, so you can make the enchant and then trade it to someone, even if and they can apply it without any skill acquired. Also, there's a floating tree. Argonian, no, Argonian is in this really weird place. I feel like because they have 3 unique passives. They get some max health. They get swim speed and potion effectiveness. Potion effectiveness is can be pretty good, and then they have healing received. So if anything, I feel like they make okay tanks. Does each attack and flurry have a chance to crit? Yes. So horses will have an individual feed cooldowns. Yes, they will have individual feed cooldowns. So horse A has a cooldown, horse B has a cooldown. Okay, another crafter upgrade my epic drop to legendary. Some epic drops bind to you right away, and some don't. If it's one that doesn't, you can trade it to them, they can upgrade it, and then trade it back to you. Otherwise, you would have to upgrade it yourself. Blood Craze is a morph for, I forget what, Twin Strikes. Twin Strikes, which is the first dual-wielding skill. Spell projectiles. So, Siphon skills are spell projectiles, so like Strife is a spell projectile that can be reflected. Bow is not a spell. Yeah, bow skills are not spells, so you can reflect like staff, light, and heavy attacks, but not bow. Does the 10% of fallen Stormbreaker weapon damage affect your weapon skills? it should. From a horse in PvP, are you going for all speed upgrades? Yes. And that will be a 43k horse. That'll be a fast horse. A horse that starts with speed on it, and then I'll max that speed for 70%. Whereas my starting Imperial horse will be backspace. Backspace horse. Okay, weapon attacks deal 10% additional damage when slotted. Yes, that is correct. It's so. It's okay to be cat. That reading. It's okay. Do we just... Oh, I reloaded. Okay. What the hell's going on there? There's been a lot of rumors, to be fair. But they have publicly stated that they will have a sub-B. They said that for a while. Let's see here. Yeah, Dawnbreaker should work on stuff like Poison Arrow. Because it does say weapon attacks. Why are some of our stats a different color? A stat, in the character sheet, a stat changes to like that orangey red when it is overcharged, which means it is above the soft cap. But what character level will the average player have 70k for the second horse? I got mine at 42, but that's because I also bought a 17k horse. No, it's because I also bought way too many bag spaces before buying my fast horse. I would say that basically mid to high 30s is about when you could expect to get that. So like 32 to 40, somewhere in there, would be when you could expect to get your second horse. I think the Pyromancer build on the forums is something similar to this. I haven't actually looked at the build itself and was like, yeah, this post is built correctly, and I haven't looked at it. You can't fully upgrade all of your horse stats, you have to choose one. I'm assuming that was the Pyromancer build. No, horses cap at level 50, so you can't actually max out the stats on the horse, and it makes me sad. Does the fast horse have better stats in the end? Yes, because it starts with more speed, it will be better in the end because the level cap is the same for both qualities of horse. I hope multiple tanks are used for large encounters, though it's hard to tell with only 12 players what they have planned. Do you think endgame armor looks impressive, and getting that cool armor is an issue in itself? Currently, I'd say that a lot of it looks good, but none of it's like super impressive. Though I haven't seen a lot of the. Thanks. Shit. Oh, advanced style gear. So that stuff might look fairly impressive. But hopefully they add like the really good looking stuff when they add in the adventure zones. Yes, that is correct, Gelotopia. The crappy Imperial horse will not be as fast as the expensive horses. Which is why people should worry less than the fact that you can just buy a horse, because it's not the best horse. Best horse is only obtainable in game. Is the map big? The map is huge. Horses stats don't have soft caps. You can put as many points as you want into a horse and into any of the horse's stats, but the horse itself can only be upgraded 50 times. Reaper's Mark, Ambush, Blood Grace, Shadowy Disguise, Surprise Attack? Maybe? Reaper's Mark work from PvE bosses or just PvP? It works on PvE mobs. I'm not sure on bosses. I don't see why it wouldn't, though. What add-ons am I using? Yes, all my add-ons are listed below at the bottom of the page. Yes, the Imperial horse is a 15% horse. It's the same as the 17k horse. Floating numbers? Is there any limit on the duration you can feed your horse? For how long does it take? So you can feed your horse once every 20 hours, and you can only do that 50 times. Astendius with the fast math. Yep. Is it worth it to feed the horse inventory space? So I would feed your, if you're getting the Imperial Edition, I would feed your Imperial horse bag space, and I would feed your expensive horse speed. In Cyrodiil, yes, you can capture other people's keeps in Cyrodiil. Yeah, stamina on a horse is actually fairly useless because of how sprinting currently works on a horse. Do I think the boss fights in the game are cool? I think the boss fights are... Yeah, the boss fights are they're... I like most of the boss fights. Let's go with that. I like them, but I think they could be better, but this is not... We don't have adventure zones yet, so they're not, like, horribly complicated. They're tuned for what they're supposed to be. I have trouble deciding... My suggestion in that case would be Soul Strike. Soul Strike is... Yeah, I would go with Soul Strike because it's also a stun. What happens to the backspace when you switch horses? So what happens is you can't switch out your horse unless you lower the amount of stuff you have in your bags. As well, unless you lower the amount of stuff you have in your bags until you can, like, switch out your horse. So max backspace without a horse is 110. You would have to lower the amount of stuff in your inventory to 110 to change your horse. Is it worth it to be a vampire / werewolf? For some builds, yes. Well, yeah. For some builds, it is totally worth it to be a vampire or a werewolf. Yeah. Yeah, how the horse sprinting works is you can press the button once for like a burst of speed, or you can hold it for like a steady, not as fast as the burst speed. Unfortunately, it's still like much faster than walking, and much faster overall than spamming the sprint. So you just kind of like hold your sprint button down, and there's no real point in using the stamina. How much time does it take 10k gold, and how does it change wall leveling? I don't remember what it... It doesn't take that long to make 10k gold at 50, because you can, you know, farm something fairly easily. It does get much easier to make gold, however, as you get higher levels. That's not quite right. Nick says Searing Strike for the Dragonite is really cheap. But yeah, no, the only really spammable attack is light attacks. How much inventory space will a horse have at level 1? Is that just on your horse combine? So 110 is if you had no backspace on your horse. It's only if you had like all the regular backspace upgrades. How many different tiers of horses there are? Right now there's only 2. What do you think could yield the highest range DPS in PvE? I don't know. In terms of min-maxing, I would go, if you're a damage base, you're probably better, well, if you're, thanks Brain. If you're looking to min-max your damage, you're better off going Altmer, because you're probably going to end up using fire damage at some point in your build. Most likely. But Breton is basically like the best blanket race. The Breton is good at everything, along with Imperial. So if you tend to lean more towards stamina builds, go Imperial. If you tend to lean more towards magical builds, go Breton. Do one-handed shield works in PvP? As a tank, tank is really loose. It's not like... tank is a really loose term in PvP, but using one-handed shield totally works. Because shield charge is really good. It's 75% speed, not 80. Because the speed horse is 25%, and then you add 50. For healing, Altmer or Breton for cost reduction, because it's really easy to get the regen kill time. It's really easy to get a bunch of regen once you're gearing correctly. What is music? Okay. Gendor? No, they're separate accounts. When is the Adventure Zone supposed to be released? It is... I think it's slated for the first patch after launch, which is 4 to 6 weeks. Is Bosmer? You know. Bosmer is not a good race. They're in a sad spot, because they get max stamina, and stamina regen. And like... Stealthy? Stealthy is okay, but that only applies to one attack in every fight. Whereas, I would say Imperial. I don't know what this is. It's on Super Meat Boy. Why is this? Let's go to a different song. I blame Super Meat Boy. Is Dunmer good for anything? Dunmer is good for hybrid builds, because you get max stamina and max magicka. They're good for hybrid builds. That's much better. Alright. So, Wrath, the main issue with that is you're looking to focus on a single tree, and that's something you shouldn't do. Because I wouldn't focus on like a single... The strength of the system is to mix and match. So I would say like, you take, what's in the Shadow Tree? I don't know, you take like Shadow Cloak, and you take Strife. So, yeah, the strength is of the system is to mix and match. Oh yeah, and I constantly overlook the fact that the Dunmer get fire resistance, but yeah. I said earlier that Sorc would be a good class for two-hander. I was focusing more on the bow part of that. They're okay for two-hander. I think Sorcs are really good with any weapon-based build because they get Surge. And Surge is a really dumb amount of weapon power. Galkius, I would recommend Imperial. Imperial is probably like the simplest choice for a tank without going horribly wrong. Most OP class, all of them. There's the most OP stuff right now is not actually class based. So yeah, it's not the class itself that's overpowered, it's the builds. Pretty much. Is there a cooldown on how often you can use a potion? Yes, it is 30 seconds. You can get potion reduction on it as a potion cooldown reduction as an enchant on your jewelry though. Don't have Imperialish, what else we got? Shit. Red, yeah, probably go Redguard. How much weaker is Rally as compared to Surge? So they give you two different effects. Rally gives you 10% weapon damage and an additional 2% every 2 seconds. Whereas Surge is I think it's a flat 56 or something. Surge. Well, that's not gonna tell me because that's not the right level. It's something around the area of 50. So. So what that means is Surge is going to be, and you could stack them, but Surge is going to be better in almost every situation because 10% you're only going to get like 20 weapon power out of momentum, whereas Surge gives you a lot. Don't read the troll. 7/7 heavy no. No, you will be out of mana really quickly if you go 7/7 heavy as a healer. Really quickly. Would be easier to find on your... You actually can't find either of those on your armor, you can only find those on jewelry. And in which case they're about even. Yeah. You're not gonna find much 1v1 in ESO, you're gonna find a lot of small group. Well, a lot of large group and some small group. I foresee the amount of large group dying down though. So there are OP builds, but there's actually quite a few of them, so they're not exactly OP because there's also counter builds that is really strong. Every time you use 7/7 heavy heals, kick a puppy. Yep. So Flawless Dawnbreaker doesn't give you weapon power, it just increases the damage by 13%. From what I could tell, at least. Does Molten Weapons add damage to your Resto Staff attack? Yes, it also increases the strength of your Resto Staff heals. It would be about 120 skill points when you get to 50. Once you start doing veteran content, you get significantly more. I think right now I have somewhere in the vicinity of 250 skill points, something like that. Well, Double Dub. There isn't a soft cap on spell cost reduction, so that's kind of hard to hit. Yeah. What are the really, really strong builds? I'm not entirely sure what all of them, because I run into them, but I don't entirely know how they work. Or what they are entirely. Those could be skills that I haven't seen them use. I rarely run into them, because Cyrodiil and PTS is pretty empty a lot of the time. But they're out there. The best area dog! Ugh. Pulsar is really good because it's cheap, it does good damage, and it's a fairly large area, so that's why you see it spammed a lot. And the fact that it's burst damage, unlike Wall of Elements, which is sort of an area over time. So that's actually why they kind of why they reduced Restoring Spirit, because it's not that it was good for heavy. That's what it was for, is that it was overpowered if you were light and second cost reduction. Because Templar healers could just spam forever. They literally never ran out of mana. That's about, yeah. The Nord Armor bonus would be useful in PvP if you're using light armor, because my light armor has, I think it's 5 light, 2 heavy, so I have 1250 armor, so that'd be at 1550, which is... that's pretty good. It's not great. It will help, yes. Yeah, the extra fire damage taken from being a vampire is an additional 50%. So fire resist will offset it somewhat, but not entirely. Yes, who would build a hybrid Nightblade vampire? Nope, not the person that's already posted that build on the forums. Not in the slightest. Go look at her post, it's really good. Can you inspect other players yet? Not yet. I think it's on one of the things that they're hoping to add, but yeah, not yet. Oh, yeah. So the thing with the bashing is most stuff isn't, there actually just isn't enough like things that are bashable. Or what is bashable probably shouldn't be bashable. It's basically a lack of mechanics on their end than me not bashing. So things that come to mind are, yeah. So it's not so much that I don't want to bash. I wish there were more things to bash. I wish there were things to bash, and that if you didn't bash them, you would die. Instead, it's the opposite. Instead, there are things that will kill you, and then you... No, it's not. What the hell? It just feels like when something is bashable, it feels broken. That's what it feels like. Which pieces do I usually choose as heavy and why? Helmet and chest. For two reasons. One, it gives the illusion that I'm wearing more pieces of heavy than I actually am, because they're the two really obvious pieces. And two, they give the most armor. Whoa. So, the subscription being required for early access? No. Buying the game gives you a free month. So you're not charged your first $15 until, yeah, May 4th, that's correct. 1 month after official launch. The first month is free. Yeah, they may require you to put in credit card info. That's pretty normal. Will I run alts? Can you revamp your DK for any? I will run alts, but alts will be of different classes. I revamp my DK all the time, because I have so many skill points. So, yes, you can totally run one character for everything, pretty much. Though I will be doing a couple alts, just because some classes do things differently. And I do just like playing alts. No. Head, shoulders, boots, chest, pants all give the same armor, and then I think was one that's like somewhere in between, and then belt and gloves are the lowest. PvP healers. So I actually have seen a Sword and Board healing Templar do pretty good. They switch to Sword and Shield when they're being focused, and they use all Templar heals. Why am I just standing there? Oh, I'm tapping to someone. Yes, visitors, this is recorded footage. Werewolf skills are stam-based, not magicka. Energy Overload replaces your light or heavy attack, so it doesn't matter. The vampire feed makes me laugh because you just end up CC breaking and then you kill them. So unless you're catching them with low stamina, the feed is actually underwhelming. Because I've had a lot of like vampires open, like I'll be by myself and then a vampire will open on me and they'll like try to feed. And I was like, CC break, fire, well it's fire. And then it's a vampire plus fire, so they die. Ooh. Where are we? Thoughts on siphoning rest of Bill? Yeah. Yeah, that was her. That was her that I was questing with the other day on stream. It's probably closer to slowly going mad, which just happened. Why do I not use synergy? It depends on the synergy. Some synergy are actually bad. Most of the time, it'll be channel, like, channel Storm Atronach is pretty bad, especially to use it as a tank. Because it's a channel and you stop doing things. You have to stand there and channel. You can interrupt it, but interrupting it is pretty... This was a really dumb idea. No, it's not. That's right. Wrong fight. How much damage does Molten Weapons provide at a level 50? 11! It provides 11. And then 22 to yourself. The extra fire damage, the base is 28, and then it goes up based on your maximum magicka, or whoever's casting it. Blocking blocks 50% of damage base, and it'll also block CC. Yes, what's the best skill you can use from the widest distance? Chains. Chains is the longest range skill that a Dragon Knight has. Yeah. Yeah. 11 weapon damage is actually pretty good. It's considering how and then 22 on yourself, so it's not like as strong as Surge, but it's still really good because it's also a group buff. That's the main thing you gotta remember is it's a group buff. Yeah. How do you break out of CC? That's weird because it's supposed to also. Because, yeah, CC Break and Bash are supposed to always be bound to the same thing. So that's weird that it didn't end up working. It may have actually just, like, straight up broke because you tried to rebind it. That may be a bug. Would bolstering... Yes, Bolstering Darkness is 60% on yourself, so it would definitely help with the not dying. Does Chains count as a CC, or can another DK pull a target? Chains counts as a CC. So you can root them, because roots ignore the CC immunity, but you can't stun them. Khajiit tank will be, well, it will be viable, it won't be the best, though. Because they only get health regen, and then their passives are more focused towards damage. Silver Leash only works on Undead or Daedra, sadly. So I don't know if it'll work on people that have afflictions. When are they planning? Hopefully in the next patch. We're just kind of waiting. Because they said they're going to take a look at it, but they haven't done anything yet. Yeah, so it'll probably be out before release. Does Drain have a cooldown on it? I didn't even know Drain had a cooldown. Oh yeah, that's right, it does have a cooldown, but you can't spam it. That's right. Oops, that's the Reddit. That's funny, so head. Let's go here, let's go World, let's go Vampire, Drain Essence. Cannot be... Right, because they can't... Okay, it doesn't say. Never mind. Never mind, okay. How long I don't remember how long it took for me to go from 1 to 50. I wish I had actually checked to make sure, but I don't think it was too terrible. I think it's somewhere in the vicinity. It took me somewhere around 60 to 70 hours. Are there gonna be too many Imperials running around? Probably not. Twist on that, yeah. I want sub button. I want to quit my job. I hate my job. During the last beta, the armor was dumbed down to 430. So disabling battle scaling is something they have in the works. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's in yet though. $200 slash build. Yes, that's good for solo leveling. Yes, group dungeons probably. What is my job? I work overnight stocking shelves at Walmart. Yup. I hate my job. It's not out yet. This is recorded footage from the PTS. No, we haven't gotten a chance to test Adventure Zones yet. Hopefully we will, but... How do you feel about Magicka? I try... Okay, yeah, at low levels and with the scaling, Magicka is really rough. Once you get to 50, it's much better. Because you'll have gear to support it, and the cost will be more balanced. Yeah, unnamed. That only affects passive regen. What GPU do I have? I have a GTX 680. I need to put my computer specs at the bottom of my page. That's something I need to do. What was that for? That was for... I don't remember. I had 45 health for a reason, and then I don't remember what I had the 4 stamina for. But it's there. This is... Like I said, this is old footage. What's the cap? Weapon damage starts soft capping at 180. And then I don't know what the hard cap is. Most fun combat style, anything that works well in a group. Yeah, that's 180 at VR10. That's correct. Breton Redunmer. Yeah, I would say that's because of the max magic passes, I'm assuming. How do veteran rank work? Veteran ranks are like, they're kind of like levels that are added on top of the regular levels. So you get to 50, and then 50 is also VR1. And then you, and then they're basically additional levels that don't give you the same benefit as like a skill point or anything. Veteran ranks do raise soft caps. Chris Jib, you're actually looking at PvP footage right now. This is, and yes, there is player trading as well. But right now, PvP footage. 5 versus... I think we're 5 versus 20, plus some... I think we also have some randoms. Yeah, we have a couple random people. So it's like 10 versus, you know, 15. Or 20. Would pierce armor affect the fire damage skills? Yes, as long as that target has spell resistance. Quick, kill her! She's right there! Alright. Pretty much, I'll be streaming about as much as I can, which will probably be about as any time I'm playing the game. So, a lot. Yeah, how old is this video? You're still VR6? Yep. Definitely old. Does Flawless Bonemaker additional weapon damage on weapon attacks also apply light and heavy? Yes, yes it does. Anytime doing the yep. More like a newer Daok. If you ask anyone that's played Daok, they will say it's like a newer Daok. I haven't played Daok, so I would just say that it's newer and better. Drew used the second cast bar in fight via keyboard and mouse, so by keyboard, mouse, slacker, or by hand. So the second bar is your in-game weapon swap, which is, for me, it's bound to Z. I think the default button is Teetle, the one next to 1. Yeah. Is there PvP gear? So once you hit 50, you can get the green versions of those PvP sets in your box. They're just rare. But yeah, there are no PvP stats like Alexa said. There's no like resilience or anything. What's the best way to get gear for PvP at 50? PvE crafting and just doing PvP, because your little PvP boxes, those scale with your level, and then once you hit 50 and VR1, you can get the PvP sets as well. They just need to be upgraded by a crafter because they'll be green. So I think with the alliance points, there will be pieces. You'll probably want to use those to complement this, to finish up sets that you haven't gotten from your random boxes. When leveling, should I only focus on health and apply to tank? It will probably be the best option for leveling. Because while you're leveling, you're going to have random stats on your gear, because you're going to pick up the item that has the best armor and go with that. So putting points into health while you're leveling as a tank is definitely what I would recommend at that point. I saw someone asking about the fire AoE I use all the time. That is Impulse. Morph to Pulsar. Are there items with plus damage to players? No. There is not items with plus damage to players. Okay. It's actually 700. It's actually 735 because you only get 49 attribute points. How much DPS you'll get from 50 points into Magicka? So I haven't looked at the scaling of things, so I don't actually have an answer for that. Impale is a morph of Assassin's Blade, which is the first skill of the Assassin tree in the Nightblade. Yes, that's right. They haven't said anything about betas for the consoles yet, but they will... I think... Well, they will have more information about it soon. I think... What is the ultimate I'm using with the Destruction Staff? The ultimate I'm using with the Destruction Staff, right, I'm using my staff on right now, yes, is Werewolf Transform. Werewolf Transformation. How much right? Fire Rune will its damage apply to the Kindling passive. So Kindling doesn't affect fire damage directly. Kindling affects the burning status caused by fire damage. So what happens is Fire Rune does damage, and then it may or may not cause burning, and then Kindling would increase the damage of that burn effect. Zen Boogie, it's a reaction to having to readapt class strategy. Erlex doesn't have any problems doing veteran content. So, I don't know if he's still here, though. Do armor pen abilities stack? So... how I think it works is you apply Marked Target to someone, and that lowers their stuff by 75%. And then whatever you do beyond that uses that new value. So you would Mark Target for 75%, and then you would lower it. You'd ignore 40% of that new value. Will they be implementing damage numbers as well as buffs and debuffs? Probably not. However, all of that stuff can be obtained with add-ons currently. So I would start looking into some of the add-on options that are available. I would recommend FTC. The link is available at the bottom of my page. It gives you better player frames. It gives you scrolling combat text. It gives you buff tracking, debuff tracking, all the stuff that all the basic stuff that you're looking for. What were the lightning balls? I believe those were the balls left behind by Bolt Escape. They absorb projectiles. The Argonian 6% healing received is entirely dependent on receiving healing. So it could be good, it could be bad, it depends on the stats of the person that's healing you. Whereas Red Diamond scales with your maximum health. So at level, the max rank, it's going to be 50% of, not 50%, fuck, that's way too high, 6%. 6% of your maximum health. Audio stream only for mobile clients. I think that's something I would enjoy on the mobile the mobile app. Shit, I need to check my links in the builds that I have posted. Oh boy. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Ooh. I need to open this thread because I need to make sure that my links still work for my build, because they fixed a bunch of stuff. Okay, good. It just pastes you in. Oh, okay, good. Sweet. That's a thing. Excellent. Sup, Flames? How you doing? Annulment. Does it block all damage while the shield is, Okay. So, how yeah, we're trying! I want one too! We're trying! So how annulment works is, say a spell hits you for 100. Annulment will lower that damage by half, and then absorb damage. However, it will not count your spell resistance. So if your shield is 100 and you get hit for 100, you could take 2 hits from that spell, because they would both actually be for 50 because of the annulment buff. Do you think something is, dueling is something they'll add in the future? I do. Dueling, I don't know. I hope people do add, they do add dueling for other people. But, I think initially we aren't going to see a lot of small battles, but it's really easy for coordinated groups. Well, not easy. It's words. Coordinated smaller groups can defeat groups much larger than them with coordinated tactics, and they will. So because of that, I think you'll see less large groups, except for, you know, the random people that don't have a set group to go with. They'll just, you know, kind of zerg up, because that's just what happens. But the coordinated groups will eventually run into each other, and that's when we'll start seeing smaller engagements. Yeah, da da da. Yep, they definitely have that covered. For soloing, it's okay. For soloing, that's pretty good because you have the armor, and the armor helps. Whereas light armor, you need to be more careful. You need to definitely trust in Dark Talons. Much English, much language, very grammar. I lack all of it. Alright. What is going on here? I think... Look, recording. Okay. You should probably go a race that has max stamina instead, because there are very, very little sources of poison damage. Please explain Nova and the synergy. Okay. So Nova is a Templar ultimate that gets thrown down on the ground and does damage to people standing in it. When someone activates the synergy, everyone in the Nova area is knocked down for several seconds. I'm not entirely sure what the duration is. I think it's 2. The Gravity Crush morph, I think it just adds extra duration to the knockdown. Probably like 1 second. The synergy can only be activated by by a friendly person standing in the Nova area. Yes, that is correct. Staff will not proc red damage. How badly does Venom Arrow hurt my stam build? Unfortunately, it doesn't. I've had people spam Venom Arrow into my head, and it's just like arrows, and I was like, "There's an archer in that tower after taking like 4 arrows to the head." Because the base damage on Poison Arrow is still physical, and then it's only the poison dot. Yeah. You yourself cannot activate a synergy, it has to be someone else. That's why it's a synergy. Digerian, the morph for extra damage is like superior in every situation. Because it is so much extra damage. Do you feel there's a lot of control in this game? Is it just me? It feels like you can break your CC and immediately be stunned or knocked down as soon as you get out. Blocking or dodging seems to consume a lot of stamina as well. Does this change at 50? I'll balance out better. Blocking, so the cost of block and dodge does balance out, though it's still fairly expensive if you're not like geared for dealing with that kind of stuff. In terms of CC, there's supposed to be a CC immunity after a CC ends. For 6 to 8 seconds. Though for some, I think for some effects that doesn't work, and that might be a bug. I know that it doesn't work with roots, and that's probably intended. Lethal Arrow would be the same way, yes, where it front loads physical and then it's just a poison dot. Yeah. Best ultimate for Templar? 90% of situations, Nova. Yeah, that's right. What's up, Cracktush? How you doing? Off balance is a stun that dazes. If you use a heavy attack, you also knock them down. Yes, that is correct. I tried to change someone, it didn't work. Run away! Okay, they didn't follow me. Music is all over the place. Because balance and ruin all the time. I don't even understand. Does this only apply to your main head? No, it applies to both. So if you're using a axe and a mace, for example, you get you ignore some armor, and you also have a chance of causing the bleed. If you're using 2 axes, you have I think it's an increased chance, not a chance per axe. I think it's an increased chance to cause the bleed. Would Inner Light work for a Dragon Knight? Yes. Inner Light will give you extra crit on all of your spells that aren't melee. So Fiery Chains will get extra crit, Fiery Breath, ultimates. Yeah, Zen Boogie, as far as we could tell, Cycle of Life is all. Yes, damage shields occur before blocking, they occur before armor, they occur before spell resistance. They're not that good because of that. And it makes me sad. Yep. Levelash will not get Inner Light. Levelash is a melee spell, so it will use your melee crit. So stuff from like Nightbot, no, stuff from. Thanks, chat. The hell? Now I don't even remember. Gorchek, I read your sentence and I completely ruined my train of thought. So there is some sort of experience gain exploit on that hasn't been fixed yet. They are currently investigating because I saw a lot of complaints about that. Regular mist form, I'm not sure. Elusive mist, using stuff will break your invisibility. You cannot use abilities while mist forming. Yeah, okay, sweet. I can go smack down some people in the Dragonite form. What is the exploit? I actually don't know it. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I just hope it gets fixed before launch. When can we stream PTS again? Friday. Friday. Alright, see you later, Wookiees. Yeah, Friday is when we can stream PTS again. Yeah. Well, I mean, the two morphs are Elusive Mist, which gives you invisibility, and Poison Mist, which gives you damage when you're in mist form. So, I mean, like, you do damage while you're in mist form, so, yeah. Dragonite is the class. Run away! That was a pathetic backlash. Okay. The trolls are on board. I'm still hanging on sound and stuff in me. Well, still, so I believe the racial is 9%, not a static 9. What else? Skills? Yes, it's a vigor. Yeah, so that's 9%, not a static 9. So it's not your regen is 9% higher. Do you lose alliance points when dying? Nope. Suggestions for a stat distribution while leveling? Probably a lot of health. I like putting most of my points into health, so. What is he talking about? He's talking about being a troll. If he says anything else offensive, I'll just ban him. Let's see. You're on a website dedicated to live streaming video games. I don't see what... It's kind of hard to get away with not calling someone... Yeah. It's just kind of pointless. We are only allowed... We can still show recorded footage, We can't play live though, so this is recorded stuff. Am I wearing a PAX 2013 shirt? Yes, I am. Hopefully I can make it down to PAX Prime again this year. Don't worry, he's banned now. Dramatic shortage of tanks. There's always going to be a dramatic shortage of tanks. I think it'll actually be probably maybe worse in Elder Scrolls Online because tanking is not nearly as easy as it is in other games. So there's just always going to be a shortage of tanks. It's not like a preferred role people want to do because it carries responsibility. People just want to stab things. Yeah. In Vision Dungeons, would you rather have a melee DPS or a range? I would rather have a good player. I don't care what their spec is, or what if they're melee or range. There is a. There is a queue system in game. I haven't seen a lot of people use it though. Specs, I give you mod because you're here than mostly any of my other mods. Because sometimes it's like, well then I'm not doing anything, so I'm gonna go hang out. So I just figured you're here more than anyone else. It's a lot of work. As an example, we have done regular Spindle with 4 people using bows. Back in some earlier tests when we had access to templates. That was fun. That was a bit strange. Doing dungeons with 4 people with bows. Dragon Knight tank or Templar tank, they're both really good, but they're good at different things. When would be an actually good time to use this skill? I'd say when you're around 50% health or less. Okay, so are there different dungeons for each faction, or the same dungeons just in different locations? There are different dungeons for each faction. So at every in every dungeon bracket, there are 3 dungeons. So and then each one is in in a different faction. However, oh shit, my footage looped. That footage is over. However, what there is, add 2 windows, go to next video, play. Shit, play. Okay, we're good. So what there is the Undaunted. When you talk to them in a city, they will give you the ports to the other faction's dungeons. So as an example, the first tier, you can do Spindle Clutch if you're Ebonheart, and then you could go talk to the Undaunted in Davon's Watch, and they would also give you the Wayshrine teleports to Banished Cells and what is the word I'm looking for? Banished Cells and Fungal Grotto. Thank you. No, not Fungal Grotto. Spindle Clutch. That's the one. And then in the main city in each zone, rather the first city in each zone, there will be a bunch of Undaunted members that you can talk to get the way shrines for the other factions dungeons. Erlix likes to get away with healing as little as he can, so he can use his Destro Staff more. Erlix is anything but humble. He's anything but. What am I talking on? What am I going on? I was going over the end on thing. Okay. Trying to think of a Nightblade who does, someone who does Nightblade streams. Moo Money, actually. Moo Money. Mooey in game. Moo Money is her Twitch username. She does Nightblade streams. It's typically a Nightblade healer, though. I would say, I don't know. I think Deegan also does Nightblade. I don't know what he's playing at launch, though. I haven't talked to them about what they're playing class-wise since PAX. Yeah. Tanking is very much about not being bad and understanding what's going on. I'm going to try and get a dungeon video out before launch. So in that I'm going to go over like how threat works, how you should approach various trash packs. How how a lot of the the tanking mechanics work and how it works in general. I'm going to try and go over that. So we have to believe in the editing skills that do not exist. Can you run all on Ultra? So I have a worse computer than Erlex's, but I can still run everything on Ultra. Yeah, Tainted Soul, you would have had a, of the Dragon, of the Akaviri Dragon Guard set, and that is only found as drops. You can't craft that. That is only drops. Does Power of the Light still do a lot of damage? Power of the Light, I think that's the Backlash Morph, in which case, yes? Inner Rage or Inner Beast. Inner Rage. The synergy for... the synergy is actually fairly bad. It doesn't do, like, that much damage compared to not channeling because it's a 4-second channel. No, actually, they're world drops. So you would find it in the first zone, so you'd find it in Glenumbra, Stonefalls, or Aradon. At around level 15, so at the top end of the zone. Alright. What do you recommend for faster ultimate gain? Currently Werewolf. Hopefully they nerf it, because Werewolf is retarded, because I don't like being forced into going Werewolf. Your best idea is probably actually Dots. Dots is probably the next best place to go for ultimate gain. Is beta still open? No, it's down. There won't be any new beta, like weekend beta tests. Hurricane, I believe. Yeah, Hurricane, I'm not too sure on that. Group experience bonus by killing enemies worthwhile. It definitely makes it worthwhile, but I don't think that grinding is going to beat questing, as far as I know. Can the Emperor go to other players of the same alliance without the alliance losing Emperorship? No. It has to be. You have to lose Emperorship first before it can be passed on to someone else in your alliance. This footage was taken from a time when there are actually people out in Serial. Specs, that's actually incorrect. It doesn't move every 24 hours. It will sit on the person. On PTS, we have had an AD Emperor for... It's been like 10 days now, 12 days. It hasn't changed. The PTS campaign uses the 2-day reset timer, so... The person on the top has changed, but the Emperor itself has not changed because they haven't lost it yet. Does Healing Spring regen a lot of mana? It regens like 20. Yes, I think it's somewhere around there. It's like you need to hit like 10, 11 people in order for it to be 100% efficient. And 5 pieces of light armor. So it's definitely really good. Does which alliance you pick have any real significance? Any real significance? No, maybe kind of, sort of. I don't know. Is it 18 now? Okay. They're not nerfing DK, they are looking at addressing Werewolf, which is where the issue stems from. Yeah, beta for consoles will probably shortly after the PC launch. That's correct. Okay. Atriple's got an Emperorship in the very, 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 very first PvP beta. So like when PvP was first implemented into the game, Atriple's got Emperorship in that test. Is Blood Altar any good for healing? No. Blood Altar increases health regen, which is not that good. And then, the synergy for it, which was what gives the healing, is a 4-second channel, and you're, like, stuck there. Do you think the Khajiit racials will be nerfed? I hope they aren't nerfed. What I want is for the other racials to be brought up to par. That's what I'd like to see. Because I feel like everything has like its nice, unique racial, but I think that some of them need to be buffed. Is the DK healer build compatible with us? So I actually need to like redesign the healer build because damage shields do not count before armor or spell resistance, so they're actually terrible in PvE because stuff hits too hard. In PvP, the damage scaling is significantly different and is actually it will actually be fairly good in PvP, I think. I need to switch a couple skills out, and I really need to switch the bars around, though. Oh, yeah. Carnage apparently yeah. Why Dominion? I didn't choose the faction. So it's not my fault. If you want to yell at someone about which faction, go yell at, yeah. I didn't choose the faction. Okay, well, it's... Oh, no, we're looking at things. So it's... what is different? It's not so much what's different about damage shields in PvP, it's the actual damage itself. In PvE, you regularly get hit hard enough that damage shields get pushed off, regardless of whether you're blocking or mitigating. So they kind of get pushed off immediately, and they're not that great in terms of like efficiency. Whereas in PvP, damage is significantly smaller numbers before any mitigation is applied to it, which makes them much more useful. Like, as an example, you'll probably versus an unarmored, unspell resistant target, a lava wave will probably hit for like 500, which is like half of a shield. Whereas a boss is going to hit someone who, with no armor or anything, for like 1,000. Redguard or Imperial for a Dragon Knight tank, both are really good. Both are really good. You can do different things with your enchanting though, depending on which one you are. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go because it's almost noon and I need to go to sleep. But I will upload this, and I will upload the section before the crash to my YouTube, which is youtube.com/Phaseus. I have a Twitter. Twitter is the place for show updates and ramblings and other such things. Mostly the other talk is also esports. Well, I answer his question real quick. What is his question? Where is it? Does your second bar get XP when you use it? No, it has to be only your active bar gets experience. Yeah. Do passives only work for their skill line and if any? It depends. It'll say what the passive works for in the skill line itself. So weapon skill passives only work if you have that weapon equipped. Otherwise, yeah. Good day / night. Yep. Tonight is Phase Plays. Instead of going to work, I'm on my weekend today and tomorrow, so I play random games because there's only 12 days left to launch. And there's a lot of games that need playing, so yeah. And that starts like at around 10 or 11 p.m. Pacific. So yeah. That's Tuesday and Wednesday. There is no morning show on Wednesday. There is no shows on Thursday. And then Friday, we go back to actually being able to show the game live. So yeah, I'm gonna go. You guys have a wonderful day / night.